So I used to be the sort of person who would always hunt for the best account with the best savings rate. And I was relentless because I used to be with a bank for years and years and never have the best rate until one day, I don't know, something happened and I decided, well, I need to stop just being loyal to something that's not giving me interest and look for better rates. And so I used to hunt for the best rates, switch accounts, and even better if there was like a great deal, like I don't know, NatWest offering, £175 for switching. And I would be on it. I would do that, and I always used to try and be really good with my money. I never used to spend a lot. And so I thought I was doing pretty well in terms of just trying to be a bit more conscientious with my money and trying to put it in the best place. Um, what I didn't realize was that essentially any disposable income that I could afford to save, I could have instead been putting that into investing. Someone like myself, I've been working for a number of years, and I'm 32 this year. I've essentially missed out on years of growth in the stock market, and a savings account, let's say these days, giving me what, 2%. It's barely just kind of keeping up with inflation. So essentially, that money, in as much as it says 2% interest rate, isn't actually making much because the real rate of inflation is 1 point something percent. I don't know what it is today. And that actually means that what I'm actually making on my money, if I'm lucky, it's just keeping above the rate of inflation. So lesson number one for me, the reason why saving kept me poor was because I did that instead of investing my money. Now, there's nothing wrong with saving. In fact, it's a very good muscle to build. But you've got to balance, and you don't want to overdo it and start sort of hoarding money. You want that money to be doing something for you. And when I say disposable income, I'm talking about money that's above, your above what you would consider to be your expenses. So what people call an emergency fund. Now, most people tend to think that an emergency fund should either be, your first £1,000, and other people say, 3 months or 6 months. I tend to be on the much more conservative side. So make sure you've got your emergency fund. So if anything happens, you actually have some funds to fall back on, which allow you to cover your expenses. I personally think that emergency fund should at least cover your expenses for a couple of months. If you stop getting work or stop getting money coming in, you have a way of still being able to survive. But it all depends on your personal circumstances. If you don't have a mortgage or rent, or you live with a partner who has a really stable source of income, or whatever it is, your decisions might be different. So the second reason why saving kept me poor is opportunity cost. So there's other things that I could have been doing with that money, like investing in myself and educating myself into things that would actually help me earn more in the future. But instead, I just let that money sit in my bank account, driven by fear or whatever it is. And I always think it's never good if you're making a decision based on fear. Rather make decisions based on something hopeful, like going towards something rather than avoiding something. And number three, I've actually forgotten what number three was, but I think the moral of the story is don't make the mistake that I did. If you've got disposable income and you've covered your emergency fund and you've got additional funds on top of that, if you're fortunate enough to be in that position, use that money wisely. Let that money actually work and do something for you. Let it grow, and actually become something that's actively working rather than just sitting in a savings account earning not very much at all in terms of interest. Yep, so go for it and start now. Don't leave it till late. Don't leave it till next year. Don't wait until circumstances change. Start now so that working starts to happen now as well. One thing to also note about investing, the sort of investing that I do, because I'm only starting out, is in things like index funds, which is a lot safer than trying to pick individual stocks. And I know it's tempting. You think I love Coke, and I'm gonna buy a Coke share, which is a lot. I suppose Coke is probably a better example. I mean, you're less likely to lose the money, but there's other things that can just be a lot riskier if you try and pick it individually. And I actually use Vanguard. And I have a stocks and shares ISA, and I also use Trading 212. I'll just share a link in the description box below. If you're interested in trying Trading 212 for yourself, you can actually get an ISA through their platform as well. And if you use my link, you get a free share and I get a free share as well. So win-win. Yeah, so start now, especially if you're younger. In fact, no matter what age you are, unless you're quite close to retirement, of which then you can still invest, but you might just have to kind of balance what you choose, just in line with when you're hoping to actually retire. But don't be like me. And I suppose I can't beat myself up too much because you don't know what you don't know, and I just didn't know any better. So I'm putting this out there, hoping that I help someone else get on board and actually do more than just putting your money into a savings account. And you're likely to get, in the past, historically, index funds have performed, like the S&P 500, 8%, 7%, worst case maybe 4 or 5% year-on-year growth, which is still, if we're looking at the worst case scenario, way better than just a 1.5% rate in a savings account. But it has to be money that you're not wanting to use immediately. And when I say immediately, I mean in the next 10 years. You should be happy to just put that away and forget about it as if you never had it and just let it grow, because that's when you genuinely see growth. Otherwise, you'll constantly be giving yourself a heart attack when it goes down and then shoots up and goes down. And it's just very stressful if you do it that way. So yeah, that's what I've got to say for now on investing, but I'll probably touch on it a little bit more in a separate video. And that's it for me today. Hopefully you found some of that informative, and I shall see you on my next video. Everyone, it's Mbai here from the Inspired Baobab, and I share on topics relating to frugality and saving money. And also, I love a book. I love to read and around those topics. And so I'll also be sharing reviews and just inspiring things from books that have helped me along the way. So welcome to my channel.